Well, good evening everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another stream to be Overthunk by Sharky. We are back here once again for another week of some Minecraft build challenge, and I gotta say, I think we're nearing the end. I think we're getting quite close to the end now as we jump back into things. Let's resume. Good evening in the chat there, Katooth. Thank you for tuning in. Look at that lovely nighttime shot. There we go. Nice, a nice shot of our completed suburban area from last week's stream. I haven't even started on Africa. Let's not get too ambitious here. The global objective, primary objective 0 was not build the world. We were starting with primary objective 1, build a country. And shrinking down from there. So let's drop down to the ground, bonk, as we head over to what we just started last time. Some incredible build work last time allowed us to do this. Some very sophisticated copy pasting, and we started a tunnel. At the very beginning of a tunnel that we can now look at continuing as we kind of travel forwards a bit further. So a thought occurred to me between last time and this time. We spent a lot of our time previously flying back and forth to the mainland and back here to here and stuff like that, and we're going to have to do that a bit more to copy and paste and get bits of the Rainbow Road from over there and the mechanical setup to bring over here again. Well, why aren't we just teleporting? why are we flying constantly between these two places and between here and the Nether when we could just be teleporting around to places? I need to take a leaf out of Skeever's playbook, who will happily play her survival world with keep inventory on and teleport down to the warden and back up to a home base and back and forth. I should just be teleporting around here. Would be so much easier. So first things first, let's get ourselves a book so we can get some teleport coordinates going. We want, as far as I can tell, probably really only 2 sets of coordinates, because from there we can access everything. We want 1 set of coordinates that are basically down here where Melbourne is. We can probably destroy that above ground feature, but I feel like that'll be like the last thing we do, just in case we ever want that. So we'll need like a teleport coordinates somewhere near Melbourne, just so that we've got something over here that we can come back to from time to time. Doors open and everything. So around about here, what are our chords? Yep, so it's this sort of thing, except we want like that Y to be a lot higher than it is. We don't want negative 56. So let's go, that's not how you spell it, teleport coords. So let's say Melbourne, we're going to need 327 minus 50-ish and 345, that sort of thing. So if I was to slash teleport to there, bam, great. Maybe I'll even put the slash teleport in the book. Yeah, that works fine. Nice. I can copy paste that. The other one we want is something like the cloud. We want some teleport coordinates for the cloud. So to do that, we're going to pop in here, run through the nether, and we'll go the long way. Can't really jump in here because we'll hit our head, but you get the gist. Alright, and then that's the drop. So about here would do me. This would be a good teleport spot. So you know, 202, would 70 work? Minus 513? Let's try that. 202, 70, minus 513. Checks out, that's fine. Alright, so let's put that in the book. Done. There we go. So there's our teleport coords to get us to all the different places we might need to go to. Alright, so what we need to do is get a heap, get a heap more of this going in here. So I reckon we do some aggressive copy pasting once we get ourselves started. Oh no. I mean, it doesn't matter, it's going to get replaced, but what we should be doing though is having a little bit of a think about how far this ought to go. And this is below everyone, right? This is, yeah. So that's the ground. So that's the block below the ground. So this is the block below the ground. So are we going to hit anyone? No. If anything, I would have thought that by now we would have uncovered the bottom of this guy. No, actually we won't, because that's in ground level. This guy maybe we would have uncovered, but he's off to the side. That's okay. In fact, if I look for him, because he's the only one we're going to see. And then this guy, but we're not going to get that far probably. Oh, we might. Let's have a look. So, yeah, like all of this is going to get... Yeah. So obviously, you know, yeah, all of this gets replaced with that. So that block's fine. It won't get replaced because it's up in there. But it just means we can't copy paste around him. But all the rest of this is fine. All of this will get replaced by stuff. But we need to think about some maths again. We need to think about some maths about how far we've got to go. Let me have a look at where we're going to ultimately be taking this, and how far we might be taking things. So, at a rough guesstimate here, let's see. So I'm looking at some stuff off screen here. That's about 5. So, you know, like if we say that's about 1 there, we're going to need, let's draw a box. Something like, you know, that's like about 15, 575, like about 100 blocks of length there. Okay, so not massive. Okay, so I mean the real thing's draw distance. In fact, we've got to be here, and we've got to make sure that we can't see the next thing up there, which means it's realistically, now that I say this, it's got to be exactly as long as the other one was, because it needs to get the exact same sort of. Well, actually, no, it doesn't, because it doesn't have to cross all the way through Australia. It can actually be significantly shorter. Yeah. So what's our literal distance? It was like 800 blocks. Yeah. Melbourne was down at like a Z of positive 300, and this cloud up here is about a Z of negative 500. So there's about an 850, 60 block difference there. So from Melbourne to the cloud. But it's not Melbourne to the cloud, it was the tip of the country to the cloud. Really, is what we're doing. From the tip of the country up here, and in fact it's from not the tip of the country, but the edge of the build limit up here. From like about here. Yeah, this is where the cloud starts to appear. So we're looking at a Z of, well, what did I do that for? It's a Z of 0. What am I thinking? Of course it's Z0. It's about 500 blocks before the cloud starts to render in. So we need to make sure that we're traveling about 500 blocks, which is a bit in the here, a bit in the nether, that kind of thing. So if I kind of check out how long it was here for reference. Yes, I know I could just teleport it back there, but I'm basically here. So this went, so 39 to 19. So this went 20 blocks. Well, yeah, this went a distance of 20 blocks between before it stepped in. And then the 18, the portal is on the 10th layer. Yeah. That kind of thing. So we've got that sort of, if we replicate that sort of thing, so that's like 30 blocks there. Right? And what was it? We had like 500 we had to cover. Well, let's say that this 30 blocks is negligible. That, well, not negligible. Drop it down from 500 to like 480. Then 480 in the nether, it's 1 to 8, right? So 480 in the nether means we've only got to go about 60 blocks in the nether. So whatever happens in the nether side, we've only got to go for 60 blocks, which I feel like it would be a couple of sections shorter. So yeah, let's duplicate this. Stripes running across ways. When we get to here, stripes going across as well. And down through there. I don't know that I want to copy paste from here to the other one. We might as well just build it afresh. It's of course different in here. It's all glowy in here. Bright and glowy, that's fine. So as we run through here, yep, stripes going across. We've got to have one of them, and one of them. So, like that. Whoop. Yeah. That's how we get the stripes going across. Like that. That seems like that would have been an easy way to have done this. And we're doing like 20 blocks of it, so this is 66, so we've got to be able to look at 46 to see the end of it. No. Other way. 66 says there's got to be 86. Which means we've still got a bit more to go. So that's 86. Right. Let's take all that off the screen for a bit. Right. So that's as far down as this has got to go. Alright. We've got some ceiling-y stuff. We can copy-paste that. Got to be careful about doing that. That's exactly how this happens. Alright. Okay, and then the green line. Okay, a bit of floor and ceiling. I think we can... Now, is there orientation to this block? There doesn't appear to be. Good. This block is the same no matter which way I place it. So, we can take that. If I clone from there up to here, and if I do it at this ceiling block here, there we go. Ceiling done. Easy. And we won't have busted anything up the top. We'll go up and double check. But this guy, yep, still stands on his smoker. And we've got no issues here. Great. In terms of how far this reached, the 86 is here. So here's our 86. It's in line with this bit right before the road here. So another 10 blocks up here would be putting the portal at like 96. So in fact the portal's underneath this road here, which is fine. We're not even quite getting up to Mason Man at the gym, so we're not really causing any problems there. So this is where the stripes came in. So they came in like that. Alright, so you saw them come in, and then I guess we had the bright white all the way down in here. Would make sense. So if I just place this square on, yeah, we get the bright. So 10 blocks of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that 10th one there, so this that we're looking at here, that's 587. So 597 is the portal, right? So we get 10 blocks. Not that it matters. Excuse me, not that it matters, but this one here, this is the plane in which the portal sits. So that's all the obsidian, and I may as well put that all in now so I remember that that's where the portal would be sitting. We won't light it yet, but that ought to be the nether portal. Oops, that's the wrong block. Yep. Nice. And then the feet one. No, I've got to do it looking at that. Right. No, got to do it looking at that back wall there. Right. I feel like doing the bottom last was not a smart move there. Okay, so well, I wonder what was on the other side of the portal last time. There was definitely something on the other side. I kind of just had that. I would have disguised something. Also, this ground needs to be that, and the same for the ceiling, I guess. Maybe it was just this then. I mean, if we go up to the cloud level, that's not the cloud level, but that will do. I mean, I put them in a book, and I'm not going to use the book now. I'm just going to use the stuff in chat history and still get it wrong. But in fact, this is exactly where I wanted to be. What are these blocks on the other side here? Oh, I can't tell. Oh, it's... Okay, well, on the nether end, it's these. It's the purple ones. And for what it's worth, they're traveling, like, with the up and downness. Like, so, perpendicular to these. These are, like, side to side. But on the other side of here, they're doing the up and downness. Okay, on this side, they're the bright white face. Which feels bad for consistency, but I feel like that's what they should have been. And the fact that they're all purple is interesting, I guess. Oh, I can see dirt on the other side of the portal here. That's super awkward. Does that bother me? That there is dirt visible? Because you should almost never be standing in that part there. We'll pretend we never saw that. If I head back over to the other one, which ought to be the one with the negative coordinate. There we go. Up at the cloud end of things. Then over here, we're wanting this, but thinking of it, so well, how is there dirt visible in the other one? Is there something fundamentally different? Oh wait, the ceiling. Does it also close in on the ceiling? It does. It does. Yeah, there are more differences here than I realized. There's actually a strip down the ceiling here. Because that would all be dirt along there. Because normally you can't see that because it's buried by whatever's going on in the ceiling. Okay, we've got more to be actually paying attention to then. So let me get a teleport to here. Okay, so that's a teleport to there. That didn't really help me. Because that's not in the chat. 196 minus 59 minus 582. Okay, that's here. Let me go back to Melbourne again. So yeah, it does. It closes in, with a purple on the top, and this is like the bright face facing downwards. Okay. Yeah, because the purple's closed in. That makes sense. So, purple's got to continue in, and now the bright face is facing downwards, so, yeah. There we go. Right. So that's closed in. I'm coming through here into the portal now. And, yeah, there would be the dirt blocks in the other one, but they're not now. So, now it's a moment of truth, I think. We light this portal, and we see where this takes us into in the nether. And we start mapping out some nether side of this. So, let's get ourselves some flint and steel. Boop. Now, this is where we find out whether or not we've accidentally cross-linked the stargates. So, there is a nether portal way up there. I'm hoping that the thing that saves me is just the difference in elevation, the difference in Y level, because they're really not that far apart for X and Z. Really, like chunk-wise, they're actually not that many chunks apart from each other. Like if I put the chunk borders on, we'll have a nether portal here in this chunk, and then we're only like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 64 blocks. 5, that's 80 blocks. So we're like, 80 blocks away, 5 chunks away from another nether portal. So if it goes by chunk distance, that's not that close. But if it's like full X, Y, Z, I'm hoping that the Y is going to save us. But nether portal there, take us somewhere in the nether, and then we're going to head that way like, another 80 blocks or something. Or 60 blocks. 60, yes. 8 60s for 480. So, let's just go through, generate some nether. Oh no! Oh no! We have linked them. Oh, we have linked them. Ooh. Oh, that's scary. Oh, because I'm forgetting where we are in the nether. Oh, because in the nether... Oh, no. Okay. Okay, I'm not even thinking of this in terms of like where we are in the nether. I'm thinking of this in terms of where we are in the overworld. So this should be taking us back into Melbourne now. Yep, this is Melbourne. We've got the yellow here. Okay, we got a big problem. I did not even consider this. So this is the passageway from Melbourne through here. Oh no. How am I going to fix this? So does this still take me to the cloud, or is this now connected to the other thing? Yep, this correctly takes me to the cloud. So let me just think this through. So in the nether, this is at like 25 by minus 60. Yeah, we've just gone like what I assume to be 60 blocks. I'm just going to run this distance in the nether twice. No, we've gone way more than 60 blocks. So we've gone like the 100, haven't we? So, yeah, in terms of Z, the Melbourne end of this is at 50-ish in the Z. Okay. And then in terms of running through the nether, this is coming through to like 110, 115 blocks later in the nether, so at like minus 64 in the nether. So this takes me into the cloud. So that's done my like 800 blocks in the overworld. But remembering that, yeah, in the nether it's 8 times the distance. So for every 8 blocks I travel here, that's only 1 block in the nether. So it is the chunk distance. So yeah, by going like 80 blocks forwards, which is what this is. So we'll get this exactly. This is like at about, you know, minus 500-ish, he says, despite saying that we're going to do this exactly. That's at like minus 500-ish. And this was at like 80, wasn't it? So about 600-ish. So that's about 100 more blocks, which is only 12 blocks in the nether. So this portal would be appearing in the nether 12 blocks further along than the other portal up at the cloud end in the nether, and 12 blocks puts it within the same chunk in the nether, which is why in the nether these are now cross-linked, because this portal is trying to generate another portal just 12 blocks away on the other side in the nether. So the solution should be as simple as go at least 16 blocks in the nether so it gets into the next chunk, which means I need at least another 4 blocks in the nether, like 5 or so to be safe, which means I need at least another 32 to 40 blocks in the overworld to be safe. So this tunnel here needs to be another 30 or 40 blocks long. So I need to repeat this whole length again. Like that's 20, that's 10, that's another 30. Oh, could I do this again? So let me break this portal to start with. We would need to take this whole thing. Like, I like the narrowing in effect. I think I want to keep that going. But do it again. Like, if we do it just one more time, 20 plus 10 is 30, that's another 30 blocks. I'm not sure that's enough. I would want 40 to be comfortable. So, do we do 10 and 10, 10 and 10? That's another 40. That might do it. Magnesium flakes, Skeevers says. I don't know why, I just got a text message with only the words magnesium flakes in it. So let it be known publicly on stream that apparently Skeevers is leaving a note for herself for later about magnesium flakes. Alright, copy paste, and we're going to copy paste it with some maths. Maybe. I'm going to need to dig myself at least a little bit of walkway up here so that I can like be up here and do this. I could just copy paste air up here, and I'm not sure I'm that brave. I could, but I'd like to see what I'm digging into. Right, so see that? That's got a thing under it, a thing above it. So let me just leave a light here. Whoop. Okay, right. So here's our problem. Here's our problem. We're at the other end of the build. So how much extra is that? Not enough. We're going to have to keep this going past the water. So I'm going to bust through and then seal it from the other side. Oh, come on. Okay. So, yeah, we've run like right underneath this guy, which is fine. So he's standing on a block because his block's back here, which is okay. So we can see the block he's standing on, but yeah, this is running into the water now, and it just means that we're gonna need. So we can see the block he's standing on, which means we need like roof here, that sort of thing. Like that's gonna be our roof, and this is gonna have to continue for a bit. So we're gonna have a secret tunnel here that needs to be kind of hidden under the water. because this is going to extend out that way. That's awkward. We could definitely drop it down a bit. Let's go back inside. Let's consider what it would be like if we dropped down. So if we're going to all this trouble to come through here and do another layer of this, what if we also did a step down and kept going? I got plenty more downward space. There's bedrock there. So we can go down like another 1 or 2 easily. This is fine. So that'll help a little bit, certainly. Let's get rid of that first timer in the chat there. Welcome to the stream, and goodbye from the stream. We don't need any of that. Alright. So much for copy pasting. I'm going to have to actually think this through now. Let me... Whoop. That was not good. That was a bit of the surface that I just took out. I'm going to have to go up and see what that was. Oh, it's raining. Nice. Was that not surface I just took out? I thought I just broke a bit of something up the top. Okay, maybe I didn't. Maybe that was just a complete lie. Alright. Well, let me sneak in from this way, since I know that this is the way in. I did break something, but it's underneath other blocks. So, I'll put that there. There we go. That'll do. Okay, so, step down. Step down, step down. Do, 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 do. So, ceiling reappears and everything drops down a level. So, we would have everything's going to drop down a level, so we would need at least, so let's get rid of a bit of this for a bit. So we would have that continuing like this, and not like that at all. That's too tight, because we've got to expand back out. We've got to come back out to full width. So we're talking that. I kind of need to support the step down a little bit. So we're going to need to do some creative stuff here to get the step down to happen. And then the same with the purple. That's not purple. And then from this point on, we're good at the new level now. Alright. So by this point, the new ceiling will have come in. So like, you know, I feel like we almost could be having this carry through. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. That It's too high. Given how claustrophobic we were, we've just come in through here narrow. I need that ceiling to be through here still. And we drop down, in which case I don't think I need to cheat that quite as much. I think we could have... Ooh, now here's a radical idea. What if we did this? And looped the colours around. Like that. The purple goes to the bottom. That way it might not be noticeable. Well, that one I would need to have as that. Like that. So we've come through here. So we're on the stripes like this. We've come through here, coming through here, and then it drops us down and it keeps going, and you know, the pattern continues. It's cyclic. We're a layer down. I think I agree with that more. That seems to make the most sense. So, in terms of what this all looks like now, so we've of course got this running all through here, and we're a block down now, but we're about to hit water here. So the question is, are we low enough, or do we want to drop even one more again by this point? And could we have been doing this drop earlier, in fact? In fact, yeah. Before we zoom in, what if we did the drop? So I'm completely reimagining this now. What if we just did a series of drops, then we did the zoom in right before the portal? That might be smarter. So we've got a 20 long stretch here. What if we drop down a block for a 20 long stretch, then drop down another block for a 20 long stretch? Then had this 10 at the end. Yeah, I'm going to completely destroy this, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that. I like that better. Because then we're not doing this like, you know, big then narrow, then big then narrow. We can capture all the step downs. That will help justify why this one seems longer than all the others. So we'll capture this same step down sort of thing. So this is gonna step down here. So we've hit the step down now. This kind of thing, and then the purple is resuming from here. And we're just continuing. Whole thing is now just down a level. So I guess it might make sense if that very first trim, like we'd have the rest of them being white, but that very first trim needs to be the purple to sort of see that wrap around. Then we're going to drop down, the purple's going to continue down the bottom. Right. So how far does that go? If we're doing another 20 at this level, so checking that we are going by 20s, because everything's got to be like symmetry now. So this is the 566. So this one up here ought to be 586. It is. So this is 587. So we should be going to 607. Which is this one. Then we drop again, which is perfect because that's where the water hits. Could be perfect. We'll see. So what am I saying? This is 587, and that's not right. That needs to be like that. There's another one in the chat again. 607, like that. So 607, 587. Alright. Let's get rid of that likely ban evader. You guys can't see that one, because I guess now that I've already banned one once, all the others that come up are like gonna come up as restricted already. So from there to there, and this bit here was not wasted, because this is exactly what we need. In fact, we can copy paste this bit. This is perfect. So if I clone from that, from there, and this is not going to work the way I want. I want the block behind there. I want the one that's one further that way. The one that's got 193 and it's X. Okay. So the one that's one in there to the one that's one in there, that's going to have 198 in its X. Alright. And specifically, actually, I did it from up here, didn't I? Oops. I did, and I was actually meant to be doing it from the floor one. So 196, so it's 197 minus 62, right? So if I do that from there to there, and it's this block right there that I want to paste it on top of. So if this works, clone that to there. Oh no. Oh no. It went up. Oh, that's gone up instead of down. I didn't want it there, I want it down here. Oh no, there's something above ground. Oh no, there's our first copy paste mistake. Let's turn the rain off. Because we need to see what we've done. Brace yourselves. Here's our first copy paste mistake. Right there. It went up above ground instead of below. Good news is that was the best spot to do it in, because we can fix that. That's clearly just a bit of road there and nothing else. We've destroyed nothing of value. Ooh. But it did copy paste exactly what I wanted. Like that is precisely the right bit. Just not right here. Ah, there you go. It was going to happen sooner or later. The more copy pasting I do, the more likely it was for something like that to happen. So this is just let's see, this is just the dirt layer here. I'll leave myself a little hole I can drop down into. Mine subsidence, indeed. Put that road back through there, and put that back through there. Whew. Okay, so we can come down there, we can plug that, and we try that again. So we do exactly what we did before, except we're pasting. It's because I copied, it's because I copied from this top corner down to here. I should have copied from this bottom corner up to there, and I would have my bearings correct, but I need to be pasting looking at that block there. Is what we want. So paste looking at that. There we go. That's better. So paste looking at that one. And I guess I can do that bit manually, rather than try and think of how to adjust the copy. Okay. This is good. Part of me feels a bit funny about the ceiling. Like, I know I said I wanted that purple edge there for the drop down, but part of me gets confused that that doesn't continue in my peripheral. Although, you know, it was white back here, but again, we are setting a different kind of standard, so maybe it should. Maybe as we drop down, this should be purple on the ceiling still. And what would that look like? Like that. You know, so we're getting this kind of thing happening here, which hits the edges really awkwardly. Like, that's good for there. It doesn't do a nice wrap around there because these are going this way. This one can't go that way because if it does, then the front of it doesn't work for those. So realistically, maybe I'm okay with it being just this white smooth quartz stuff. Because coming back, it does look a bit funny as well. So yeah, maybe we just change it back. That sounds like Skeever's making her way back in. Sneaking in with those magnesium flakes, I presume. Alright. So if we keep that going...
Sneaking in with some snacks.
Sneaking in with snacks. That's better than magnesium flakes. Ooh.
I bought you one of those.
You've bought me one of those. Okay.
It's like a honey choy, but like with peanut and coconut and stuff.
Ooh. Fun.
And I hate to say, but there's hardly any chips left. It's pretty much only dregs. It was very popular.
That's fine. I accept your apology.
So I was offered one of these, and I was like, I will take one for Sharky.
Alright. So the question is, how far did that copy actually go? So we were pasting... it's travelling like 3-4 blocks, isn't it? From negative 600 to negative 597, so 7, 8, 9, 0. Yeah, so that's got 4 blocks, right? So if I go to 1, 2, 3, 4, and I paste right there, that should connect to that. Yep, perfect. And, well, we can have overlap here, but if I do it here... Okay, that's fine. So that should be our 20 blocks that way now. So this would be where we would step down one more. So we'd have to have that, well, it's not purple now, it's yellow. That's going to run across here on the 21st layer. So this would be purple running, not purple, yellow running across like that, right as that water's trying to get in. Oh, and look at this. Have we dodged it? I don't think we have. Oh, we have. We're under the water now. Oh, so this might not be visible. I mean, these yellows might be visible, but I think we've done it. I think we've stayed under the water. Oh, wait. Well, yeah, once that yellow continues along there. So that yellow will be the ground layer at the bottom of the water. Right, perfect. I can live with that. Because we need to do another stretch of 20 before we narrow into our 10. So let's mimic what's happened here. So this has to continue for a bit. So let me just make a bit of air space here, and then we'll do some aggressive copy pasting. Okay. And then this is going to continue. So if we keep going with the same pattern of rotating cyclically our sequence of colours. As the purple continues through here, this now needs to be the yellow starting up, just like the purple started up, and just without fanfare, it just began on the next layer down. So it's just going to have to begin, yep, just like that. And the floor is now just a block down. Okay, and now we can do a new copy paste, because we need to have this another stretch of 20 here. So what have we got here? This is currently, well, 1, 2, 3. If we do this here, that's a stretch of 4. So if I get the copy paste of that, I'm going to have to tunnel through, well, at least through here a heap, so I can walk down here and get some pasting going. So we'll see how far we have to actually go, but I want to copy from that block there. So we'll do it properly. We'll do this bottom corner up to that top corner. So clone that block there up to the one that's this block but one deeper in the X that way. So that should be 197 to go one more that direction. So that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 layers. So ideally I've just got to, and I'll put some markers down, some dirt markers for me, so that I can see where I've got to be pasting at. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, right. So if I do that, if I do a paste there, 1, 2, 3, that does that section. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this, so I need 20. So I've got 4 there, we've got 1, so mod 4 with 1 left over here. So we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So it's actually there, and then we're done. Actually, all of this we don't need to be doing. Alright. So if I drop a paste here, another paste here, another paste here, and then the final paste there, so it will overlap with that last one, that's our 20 again. The water effect is interesting, because of course we're running under the water now, but this is negative 608. Oh, we did need one more. Of course, because it's not 20 blocks, it's a distance of 20, it's the fence post thing. Ah, so I did need that one extra. Never mind. Okay, we can put in one extra ourselves. And then of course this is where we do the narrow bit. So this is the plane now where it comes in one. So the green is now the bit that's going to loop across there. The purple's going to come across one. Yellow's going to come across one. And this is where we do our 10 blocks deep, and then we do our portal. Okay. I'm going to we're going to take a moment for a bit of on-stream ASMR maybe. Let's, how am I supposed to open this? It's all like stuck to the wrapping. So, Skeevers has left me a little treat. She did describe it, and I've already forgotten how she described it, but it's like some sort of...
Like a honey joy.
It's like a honey joy, which would be great if I knew what a honey joy was. But...
Cornflake thing with honey.
She's continuing to describe it. It's a cornflake thing with honey.
It's like you mix honey and golden syrup and
Yeah,
milk,
yeah, I know.
and you mix it with the cornflakes.
She's
Put a cornflake that's got nuts and coconut.
yeah, she's now describing something that I know. I just don't know that it's called a honey whatever nut joy something. Yeah, it looks like it's just made with peanuts and, you know, what would have been cornflakes and stuff like that, and honey and stuff all glued together, but there's coconut in here. It looks very tasty. I'm going to move the microphone away slightly so I can actually bite into this and eat it. It's only about cupcake size, so this should only take a couple of seconds. Proceeding to make a mess everywhere. But it is very tasty. We need we need some sort of overlay. We've got the I can't throw up maths with Sharky. I need like tasting noms with Sharky or something. Very nice. Apologies to everyone on the stream that can't participate in this firsthand.
Can't eat it.
I reckon I can shove the rest in one more bite, and then we'll be good. Okay, readjust the microphone. Oh, that was very nice. Thank you, Skeevers. And thank you to everyone on stream for your patience while I just proceed to eat in front of you all. Oh, also there is allegations of having brought home some honey soy chicken chips, which I do look forward to at a later date. Alright, so back to this. We need to get 10 more blocks in here before we can actually get the nether portal down, and cross our fingers that maybe we're far enough away now that we don't link the portals together. So this just tears into here for a bit, and we keep this going at this narrow sort of distance. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the 10 in here. Then this next layer here is the layer with the nether portal, which I'll just put that there so I can see what I'm doing. So this is portal layer now. Is that really right? Is the portal only that big? I feel like it's a block higher. So that will be visible now to, you know, you'll see the nice ceiling, but you'll also see the bit of portal, but that's fine. So in terms of the purple that was behind here, yeah, we were We were actually putting purple behind here. Not because it ended in purple necessarily anywhere, but just because I think it blended in with the portal appearance, the purple colour of the portal. So if we keep all this going now... Okay, that one's sideways there. Alright, and then through into purple, which is much easier at this level. And then keeping that ceiling going in the green, which, yes, looks like that, I believe. Again, we'll see that edge bit there, but if I do that, we won't. At least we won't notice it as much. Okay. Alright, so that works. We'll light the portal in a sec. I'll just go out and sort of see what this looks like in the water, and then we'll sort of see what this looks like coming into it. And don't hold the flint and steel in your hand, because you'll probably burn something. Okay, so should all be completely undetectable. Look at that. So that's the ceiling, and then when it drops down again for that bit, we lose it, and then that's the portal. Oh dear. I think I can cover that with some slabs. We won't notice that. So deep slate, cobble deep slate slab. Alright. Put that in the inventory. You know, if we just do that. Is cobble deep slate the right thing? Okay, because there's deep slate, then there's cobble deep slate. Yeah. It is technically a darker block. Polished deep slate's probably just as dark, if not darker. We live with it. We live with it. It's fine. You can tell it's a different textured block, but only if you know where to be looking. Only if you're actually actively looking for it. And I'll keep it going, just to keep that up, in order to hit the nether portal there. There we go. And that might even stop the water drips, you never know. If we go back inside, that might not be dripping water now. Yeah, so you can barely notice it. Like on the edge you can see it. There's a weird texture there. Straight on you can't. And no, I'm not extending that laterally out to the whole bounds of the town so that you can't ever see an edge. I'm not that fussed. Part of me is considering it. I'm actively considering doing it. Watch me already consider it, but I'm not going to. Alright. Fight the urges. So, we come in here, we pop in here, and so it looks a little bit funny with the coloured edge dropping down like that, but I think we need to have it. And yes, it has suppressed the water drops, basically. I say basically, it's actually done nothing. I think this is exactly how it was before. But now we narrow in, and now, moment of truth. Light the portal. Let's see what happens. Still linked. Oh no. We're still not far enough? Really? Maybe this is the sort of thing I should have looked up instead of just assuming it's got to be a chunk. So... should the Melbourne portal have gone south? Something could have gone a different direction. But, let's do a bit of maths again. So this is at negative 239, effectively. Alright. If I go back through again, we're up in the cloud. This is at negative 506. So if we do the exact math, 506 to 639, that's 133. Alright. Yep. So now if we do 133 divided by 8, well, 128 divided by 8 is 16, alright? So 16 with 5 left over. So theoretically, it's 16 and a half blocks in the nether further than this one, which should be enough to put it in the next chunk in the nether. I'm going to have to look this up. It mightn't be as simple as 16 blocks. I mean, if it's just rounding error and it's just too close, we might just need to go another 8 blocks, which will be another 10, really. But let me tab over to another window here. And let's just see minimum nether portal separation. Let's Google that. See what happens. Okay, in Minecraft, nether portals need to be spaced a minimum of 2 blocks apart in the nether or 16 blocks apart in the overworld. Well, I don't like that. To avoid linking to the same portal, a 16 block separation in the overworld translates to 8 blocks in the nether. What? Enter the nether dimension. Use the nether to travel between 2 points in the overworld. The minimum. Let me actually look this up. Let's look this up properly. Ooh, there's a 9-year-old Reddit post. How far apart? 2 blocks in the nether, 16 blocks in the overworld. As long as they are linked precisely by their X and Z. Really, I've always had problems with portals approximately 100 blocks apart in the overworld going to the same portal in the nether. When you are linking 2 portals by their coordinates, first place the overworld portal and light it, but don't go through. Go through a different portal already set up with nether access, then go to the spot in the nether that links to your new portal pair and build a portal there. Light it and enter it. Keep in mind that portals remember which one they're linked to for 60 seconds, so if portals are linked wrong, then entering and re-entering them will refresh this and cause them to still send to the wrong dimension. Okay. So we should be more than far enough. In fact, we shouldn't have needed to extend it like we did at all. But it sounds like we need to do a bit of stuff from both ends of this. We need to be in the nether as well, doing some of this. So what I need to do is break this portal without going through it, and then we're going to place it back down again, but we're going to go to the nether and we're going to make a nether connector, and we're going to forcibly link the stargates. We're going to have the one in the nether jump to this one. So I need to break this portal, and I'll even go so far as breaking the blocks. I can't break those ceiling ones because water will pour in, but we'll do that. And what I need, so I'm going to need some coordinates in here so I can jump to this conveniently. So let's get some teleport. 195 minus 62 minus 628. That was where I was looking, not where I was standing. That's fine. I can live with that. We're going to need to fly back up to the cloud. Do I have the cloud? Use the book. This is why we made the book. Use the book. Okay, so if I go through this one, I'm at the nether end. So what I need to do is I need to bust out of here without going through that portal. And I might do that by just busting out the sides somewhere. I know that this made its way into a clearing at the end. So I can just do this and travel beside it for a bit. Yeah, there it is. Right. So we've got another portal. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Could I double up on the tunnel? Because all I need is another portal in here, at least 2 blocks apart from that one. Oh, that'd be funny. But yeah, like that's the end of the tunnel. I just need this to keep going a bit. And keep the tunnel going in here and jump, forcibly connect a portal in here to the one in the overworld. So let's just make this tunnel keep going for a bit. This looks like it's all been placed correctly. Although I would like to replace all of this ceiling with this block just so that I can tell it's for a different bit of portal here. Just visually so that we know what we're doing. Do the floor as well. Not that we need to, because this bit I'm going to bury. This is not going to be seen. So I'm just going to pad it with a little bit of distance here. So all of this is incorrect, and by incorrect I mean is incorrectly, has been placed incorrect. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, not that it matters. Because this is meaningless here. But let me just make a copy of this, and I'd like to see, well, it's yellow there, but sure. No one will see it. Let's take a copy from here. Up to here. And let's put it here. Do they overlap? Of course they do. Of course they do. What am I thinking? That could have been disastrous. Or do they? This is north. Yep, so I have to place it back here and have it come back. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm completely turned around. So, like up here somewhere? Like here? Still too close, apparently. There. Okay, that's better. Alright. So that's got our tunnel extended out, and did I... How much did I copy? What did I... Oh. There was all that? Okay, sure. I didn't realise that. I didn't realise where I'd copied from. Yeah. So there's actually a lot more padding here already. So we're going to pad this just an arbitrary amount. I'm just going to... Yep, so that's the portal there. Perfect. So if I... And I may have done myself in here. I don't know how to place that to correctly line up for that now. I'll have to copy and paste. Let me do something insane. Let me clone that block to itself and paste it. Well, to the same thing but with 25. There we go. Copy pasted that block to there. Ooh, that was awkward. So that's the on the other side of the portal. So if I just do that as a barricade, so then we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just maybe do it far enough until I get into the next chunk. Oh, look at that. Weird, but sure, that one's in this chunk, so technically this one's already in the next chunk. Maybe I should just do it till I get into this bit here so it's properly in another chunk. So we just do a whole chunk's worth of this. Have a solid bit of tunnel for a bit. Just really separate them. So we would have another portal here now. So if I keep that going one more, this would be the bit where the nether portal would be. No. And on the other side of this is where we would have that for this again. Okay, and we can work out in a sec what this needs to look like on this end. But the hope is, if I do this right, so let's go back in. So we've got a portal here, and we've got a portal here. So if I go back in this one, let's turn all that off. So this one's the one that just connects to the cloud. So we're going to drop down. We're going to build this one, and we're going to light this one, but we're not going to go through it, because it would then just connect to the cloud. So to force this to work, we will build ourselves a portal. We will light it, so it's an active portal, but it has no defined linking point yet. So now we go through to the nether, because there's no corresponding linked portal on the other side of the nether yet for that one. That hasn't generated a nether side portal. So we slip back through here, which I could have just teleported up to, but I'm most of the way there, so we won't bother now. Okay. So if we come back through this one, we're here. So if I go around this outside edge again to my waiting empty portal, this is the one I want to receive. So if I light this one now, and if I travel back through this end, I believe, we should come out in the underground bit. This should have now linked to the one in the overworld that was waiting. So fingers crossed, we try this way now. It has! And it's linked with the middle perfectly. Okay. That might have done it. Get that flint and steel out of our hand in case something weird goes wrong. So if we go through this one, this should just come out in the new bit we've built. It does. And if we were to go through this one over here, this one should just go through to the cloud like normal. And coming back through here, takes us back here. Perfect! We've done it! We've successfully not accidentally linked them together. And, in the process of doing all that, I have just this moment come to realise that after everything we've done on this stream, at no point did we ever have the overlay up. On the top of the screen! This whole time. Let me close some other things here. Complete Underground Tunnel Mark II. Yeah, that's happened. We need, excuse me. We need, figure out how to link nether portals correctly. We've done that. That's figure out, not figure out. And now it is continue nether tunnel to reconnect to overworld. Okay. But this does give me a thought. Because now that we've like sort of learnt this trick, we know what's going to happen here when we put this back into the overworld in a bit. It's going to drop us down into another cloud. It's going to keep this same Y level here at the Y38, unless we go through to the overworld and build a receiving portal that's not a cloud and have this one come out somewhere else. And that could be kind of fun. Maybe I have it as a cloud, maybe I don't. I don't know. That's something to consider, but we could do this again on the other end and cross-wire some portals so that this one doesn't come out in the sky. This one could come out closer to ground level. I've got to hide it, so maybe it needs to come out underground. But that's something we could do. That's definitely something we could do. So, for the time being, since we've had a little bit of success here, let's go back through here. Let's figure out what this would look like. So, it would need to continue with this sort of pattern. Actually, what we need to do is we need to close off the other one. And maybe actually we don't close off the other one, because I want to see what this looks like in here. So, we've got to keep this sort of pattern going, right? And what were we doing? We were doing sort of, if this is 13, this is 33, so like 20 to the next thing. What did it look like right at the start? Just literally comes out in one of them. And we keep going. Stripes continuing to go that way. Alright, so it comes out into one of them, with the stripes continuing along, and with the ceiling. And with 20 until we have the next bit. And then when we get to the portal, it just does exactly what you'd expect. It does a narrow in for 10 again. So, this one here. Your doorways are spaced incorrectly. Yeah, I was worried about that, but... Because this is... it's the fence post thing again. This is 20 to the next one, not 20 then the next one. We won't think about that. Oh, I see. They're not a whole number of jumps. The jumping puzzle. Yep. Okay. That's a better interpretation. So that's 53 to 63, and then yep. So that's 10 of them again. So in terms of keeping this going. So on the other side of here, we've just come from a section where we've got green, then purple, then yellow. So we've got green on the top. So this is going to come out here with having green on the top, then purple, then yellow, and of course it's in one more. This. Ah, I broke the block I needed. Okay. And then we keep going from here, like that. Okay, so that's the section that we're in now, right? We just have a bunch of these. So if I were to copy paste, you know, literally that to that, but move it along to here. And of course I've done it on the wrong side. Second copy paste error. Not that it matters because it's the nether, so we can mess with the landscape in the nether and it's fine. But it would be paste there. And then again there. And so on. We would need to be able to keep going a little bit. Nice. Dripping roof solutions, you can put blocks like slabs and trapdoors on the roof. Good call, sure. I feel like we had slabs on the roof underwater in the overworld. But, yeah, that's fine. We'll see if that messes with the aesthetic by the end of it. So, from here to here we needed 20. So this is at like 82, so we've got to keep this going all the way through to like, you know, 102, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. Ooh. Well, that was a good typo to make then. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, and 102. If that's 82, then 102 needs to be doing that again. Hovering over lava. That's okay. So 102 comes in like that. And then we keep going. 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110. And we could be copy pasting more than just one block at a time, but for the time being this is safe and easy. Or make the roof mud or honey. Apparently they don't leak. Yes, as the most liquid of the solid blocks. They somehow plug the leaks. Sure. $17, $18, $19, $20, $21, $22. Now, if this is 102, then 22 is where the next bit narrows in again. And so we have a narrowing in. Okay, now the question is, mute myself while I cough there. Question is, how far are we going? It was, what was the number I kept saying? 8. We're going like 480 blocks or something, so that's just 8 lots of 60. So we just got to be going 60 blocks or so. So that's 20. That's 40. So we need to do like another one of these to get to 60 and then narrow in for our 10, and that's like plenty. So we keep going with the pasting. 23, yep, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and that's the one that narrows in. That's another 20 blocks. And at the same time, this is also the start of the 10 that are narrower now, in the narrow passageway bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a nether portal. I can hear lava nearby somewhere scary, but that's fine. And so we will have a portal here. Won't light it, because again, we're learning. And then we just fill this through at this level. Yeah, I really should be I should be breaking both of those out. That makes this so much easier. Because I can just look at that. Ah, now I'm not losing line of sight. Why didn't I think of that before? Okay. Alright. And then for the ceiling bit... Yep. Right, and we should keep that going there, just because now that we're thinking of it. Right. So that's the perfect zoom in there to another portal. So this is where we need to close up some of our other holes and things that we've made. So let's go back through here. We're going to close up some gaps we've left ourselves. We're going to fly back up to the sky place. No, we're not. We're going to do the book. Okay, we're up to the sky place. So, in this end, we've got a hole here that we need to plug. So, we've got ourselves our nice nether tunnel. So that just continues now. So there's our new portal. So there's the old portal. There's our new one, which I think we should put the corners in. Just so you can see the band. Alright. And that continues into the ground there. That just goes in there. And we just don't see the other end. It's just buried in there. So that's fine. We can leave that as an access tunnel on this side, but we need to close this end in here. Alright. So this is going to take us into the cloud. So what we need to do is figure out what we're doing at the other end up here, like several hundred blocks that way. I'm tempted to just leave it up in the clouds again, and we deal with it, much like this one. I feel like maybe for consistency, we keep it another skydropper. But this time maybe we do the drop early, rather than going for a long cloud and then drop later. So we come in through here. So I'm going to light this one now, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see where this appears. So if I light that, and we'll go through into the overworld, it'll create us a new overworld portal. And we should be a long way north of everything else. So we're here at like negative 1200. So if I fly back south, eventually this suburbia should come into view. There it is. So there's my new portal. And there's the other skybox. So as long as this leaves render distance, I'll be happy. So we can still see it there. Yep, so it's gone by about here. Perfect. Yeah, and there it is lining up with the other portal. So we have gone the right distance for the render distance relative to the other portal. It's just that the other portal's in the water. Perfect. Alright, so what I propose to do then is to attempt to make a similar sort of thing, and while we're at the cloud, let's work out what blocks we used. Like, we encased the whole thing in obsidian, for some reason. Then we encase it in ice, blue ice, to make it the same color as the sky. But then we just put white wool under it with end rods on it. So same deal again, white wool with end rods under it. But it's not going to be such a long, awkward cloud like the other one. This one is going to be short and stumpy. And of course it's the wrong size, it's only 2 blocks wide, it needs to be 3 blocks wide for what we're doing. So I need to work out what the middle block actually is. So when I come through the middle block, I'm standing on, I don't know, this one maybe? What one am I technically standing on? I'm literally halfway between the two. I think it's this one I'm standing on. So I need to make the portal wider this side. So we break the portal and then we reconnect it. Okay, so middle with middle. Perfect. Alright. Forgot about that. Forgot that the portals were different sizes. So the reason I'm putting this here is just so I've got something to anchor these blocks on, and I'm going to happily break that again because I need to put them there. Then I'll reconnect it. Right. Okay. So they were just there to give us something to place them against. Because what I really ought to do is get the blue ice for the sides of this thing. So that from the side it looks like the sky. And underneath this whole thing, we need the white wool. Alright, so they're the blocks we need, and we just sort of keep this going as needed. So, oh, there's another one. Let's ban that one as well. Again, hidden, so we can't really see. Perfect. Alright, so let's take that off. So we've got to keep this feel going, like the place we just come from. So it's gonna have that, like the other one. It's gonna come out with that little narrow point. So it's green on the top, then purple, then yellow. So we're coming through green on the top. Ah, dear, this is a pain to thread. Doing this without accidentally going through the portal. Right. And of course, it's not even meant to be green. Oh, it's not even green. I'm just doing everything as green. What is it? Purple. Then yellow. Okay. Right. And then we extend out into the proper width of this. Where we have our green there, our purple there, and our yellow there. Right, so that's a copy pastable piece there, which I can copy paste a little strip of. But I'm going to have this end early. I'm going to have like the drop, like, you know, right there. You know, so you come out of the portal and you see the corridor and you're like, oh yeah, it's like a whole nother one that we're running down. Except you won't, because you fall immediately. So it's only going to be quite short and stumpy. You're going to come out, it only needs to go a little bit and then it's done. So it also means it's going to be much harder to go back through, but that's fine. So we're going to copy paste a bunch of stuff and put it on here. So we're going to copy from here to here, and we're going to paste here, and then we're going to paste here. And again, it's just going to be changing that to 15, and then to 16, and to 17, and to 18, and we're going to push ourselves along a bit. Then to 20. Alright, we will be right back in a sec. Alrighty, we are back. Thank you for waiting, everyone. We were doing a bunch of pasting. Whoa! We were doing a bunch of pasting. And where were we at? 16? We done well past that, apparently. Oh, we did to like 20. Okay. So, if this is like 12, then you would expect at like 22 there to be another narrowing in bit, maybe. So, if we put like the appearance of it narrowing in, then that will help to sell the illusion. You know, if we keep this going, you know, a little bit more. Oop, I was fully in it then. I wonder, can I fully like just arbitrarily decide to stop it here? And if we close this in, like that's going to be quite visibly stopping here. But if we, I'm wondering what sort of glass frames and stuff, like if I did like purple stained glass frame or something, you know, to look like a nether portal, you know, when you come through, you're like, oh, another nether portal already? I mean, it doesn't actually look real good. What if it had the purple blocks? On the other side of it, like. So you'd see them. Oh, you're right, it does need to have the blocks narrow in around it. Yeah. You're right. So it needs to have that appearance again. Which is going to be bad because I've just arbitrarily done this like too soon. But I mean, you know, it's an illusion. You're like, oh yeah, there's more hallway. Oops. Could do that. Maybe it's the wrong shade. Maybe I actually want, well, magenta's even lighter. Maybe I want black. Yeah, what if we had... Yeah, let's just do some creative stuff here. What if we had purple wool in here? The black glass makes that super dark. That almost works on its own. I want like light glass here now. Yeah. Like light grey. Ooh, that brightens it a lot. Light grey might be too much. Yeah, the random join in the glass is not ideal. What if I don't use glass panes? What if I use glass itself? So just like grey glass. Still has the join, but maybe a little bit less noticeable. You know, you're only going to see it for a fraction of a second and then you're going to drop. Yeah. Let's split the difference and go magenta. Might have too much pink in it. That, you know, makes the join line look more obvious. What if we go with the darker purple? Well, there's a Wild Skeevers in the chat just dobbing herself in for vomiting in the shower. I'm sure that this excellent audio dampening microphone probably blocked you out, Skeevers. I think that works. Let's stop changing things. It's good enough. You're going to see it for a fraction of a second. I was going to say, don't read my chat out loud, lol. Too late. So when we come through here, you see that, but it's too late because you've already fallen. So yeah, you're only ever going to see it for like the fractionest of a second because you're not expecting to fall straight away. I'll have to mute that out now. Don't want our millions of viewers to know. We'll see. We'll see. No, there was no microphone taken into the showers. Dear. Alright. Let's put that on there. So and we need to surround the whole thing in ice. Good weather to be doing this in. Ooh, see that lightning strike there? That was a nice one. Could probably be doing a bunch of copy pasting here, but that's fine. Not that much. What am I doing, Skeevers? I'm building blocks of ice in the sky while it rains. Oh, you did so bad at tennis tonight. That's not good to hear. So, I guess the implication then is you did actually play in the end. There was a possibility, chat, since we are putting everything on display here. There was a possibility that Skeevers was just going to go to tennis for a party tonight instead of actually playing tennis. But I guess everyone decided that since they were there with their gear and it wasn't actively raining, that it was probably worth playing. My team was dead last, so we got 2 games the entire night. Ah. Ah, well. You had a good run around. You enjoyed some good food at the end. And you played all 3 sets. Oh dear. So what, some like 6-love, 6-1, 6-1? Or did you have 2 games go to love? They had 2 sets and they gave up. Oh, weak. At least your court played all 3. Alright, and then we just baffle this in wool. Nice. Oh, so you did have a pair of loves. 6-love, 6-2, 6-love. Came strong in the middle there, but then wore yourself out and couldn't pick it up in the third. Ah, well. So tired, yeah. Take comfort in the symmetry. I like that attitude. Alright, so we just broaden this a little bit into something that's gonna not show up the ice. Put an extra 2 blocks around the edge of everything. My teammate played 1 game with me the entire comp. Oh yeah, that's right, because you were constantly getting like, yeah, reserves in for them. Yeah. Ah, well, you've persevered. Oh, yeah, we need 1 more on this side yet. Then we've got to do the roof. Got to ice the roof. Not that we need to ice the roof, but I will. Just for consistency. Oh, come on, that's not where I was trying to click. Oh, I've done it again. Turn F3 off. And of course, ice, so it makes you slide. Oh, how am I going to do this? Looks like I'm copy-pasting. He says, despite continuing to place ice. Alright. Clone from there down to there. And I'm going to have to be pasting them up this end on these end blocks here. Place that one there. And then, well, this is like 201 or something, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 202. 203. 204. And 205. Okay. So, we've got our tiny cloud with our dropper. Alright, so we need to mark the drop spot. Oh, and we need to put end rods on this. That was the spot we landed on. How can you do that? I didn't know you could do that. Oh, did you just see me copy paste for the very first time? I mean, you've probably never seen me copy paste before. So, I guess that checks out. I know, I'm sorry for not reading the chat. Yeah, that was one of the very first things we did right at the start when we began building. There's a couple of creative commands that we made sure to master, like the clone command and the fill command, which helped us with building in regular patterns immensely, because we had to clone a bunch of grid lines and grid patterns, and we had to fill a lot of stuff with dirt and sand and grass. So rather than placing down blocks one by one, so that was essential. So that's where that's going to land us. I want to replicate what we've got going on in the other drop now, so that we've got a little water patch to land in. Put you on so I can listen to your voice when I sleep. Oh, that's lovely. Look how wide that cloud is compared to its icebox. This one's like so narrow in comparison. I'm sure it will be fine. If we can see it, we'll extend it out a bit more. So I need to get this little dropper section here. Oh no, you haven't done your your language lesson. Never mind. Get to it, skeevers. Alright. So I was gonna say I could copy paste this, but I could literally just build it. What have we got? We need this sort of glass. We need this sort of steps. And we need a bucket of water. That glass is invisible, isn't it? Oh, it was when I did that. Now it's visible again. And we need the end rods in the corners. So something like this, with a bit of land around it. So, real question is, good, I can go a long way before that actually does appear when I'm at this height. Because, water again, aren't there other liquids to use? What, you'd rather have us land in honey? So, I'm wondering if we face this one the other direction. This could be a little bit crazy, but let me just try something out here. So this is at 203 and 1212. What if we went down to 203 and 1112? There. And let's just... oh no, we could do this at night time, in fact. Is this visible? Ooh, it is just visible. Okay, so I've got to be careful about this. I'm thinking of facing this build the other direction, which I didn't plan on when I started to map it out. But yeah, from here, you can't see it. But from here, it comes into view. So, this could work. I'm going to have to do some maths. Also, in the other news of things we haven't done, Overlay, once again, is still continue Nether Tunnel to reconnect to Overworld. Make second cloud dropper. That's done. Start work on new landing water thingo. That's what we're actually doing now. So I reckon that's fine. Let me just go and check my measurements one more time real quick. This next build, if I do this exactly, so that's 5 there. So what do I want? So that's 20. Whoops, there's overlap there. That's not good. Okay, so that's 20. So I'm counting off screen here, counting another diagram. That's 20. That's 40. That's 60. That's 80. Sure. We've actually only got about like 80 blocks of span. I can totally live with that. Alright. Lock it in. So, we're going to have, and I might leave that there as like a little pillar to kind of mark the visibility limit. If we get too close to that little pillar there, that means we start to be visible. But we've got our drop location. So, landing out of there, we're going to drop here, but we're going to be facing this way, but that's fine. We can turn. We can have a little bit of surprise behind here. We're going to need some dirt and some grass. Regular old dirt. Oh, no. Let's replace these now. It's not going to need those anymore. Regular dirt, regular grass. Let me put a little bit of this just in here. Let's make it day. That's not how you spell add. That's better. See what I'm actually doing. Should have put that all on as grass, but that's fine. Okay, so that's where we land. So that's got to be our water, and we had no, we did 2 by 2, didn't we? We did 2 by 2. Although this one's fine because I'm not lining up to any specific blocks. We can have it narrower. We can do that. So that's okay. So long as we actually land in the water and not on the glass. So, and of course I've done it the wrong side already. It's this way. So we check the drop. Finished, Skeevers, good work. And you look like you're back on a different device because you've connected to Twitch chat via a different account now, which is fine, because you'll be preparing to go to sleep. So if we go back through here and we just walk through, do. Oh, it's possible to skip over that gap. Okay, perfect landing. We don't want that in there anymore now. Oh. That can be, I don't know. What if we put glowstone there? Is that going to look insane? I don't know what the other one had. Probably had stuff. Knee-high glass. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, we got to do something up there to make sure you can't just run straight through there. The classic thing is to accidentally bonk your head. Only made 3 mistakes. Nice work. Or to have a second hole here. Like, could have a second hole here. But I think what you really want oh, now this could be fancy. No, I was going to say tripwire here, which activates a redstone signal, which pushes a piston that's connected to this top block that pushes your head down, pushes you down the hole. But I don't think we go that far. Like, you could have, you know, the smooth quartz slab for the smooth quartz block that we're doing. You could have like that. Then you literally can't fit through here. So you bonk your head. But I mean, you see it straight away. So I'm wondering if it just needs to be 2-block hole, honestly. I mean, it's suddenly more obvious. And you definitely drop. If I was running... Yep, I definitely drop. Let's just confirm that this wasn't like a complete fluke. Like... Okay, so I fell there. I wonder if the slab is enough. Just, even though it's like on the same level, just being a half block like that. So keep running completely straight. Yeah, that works. Don't know why it works, but it does. If that's a half block, you can definitely see a bit of something happening there if you're looking down. And you can't jump it because of that block there. You'll hit your head. Oh, you can. You can run it. Oh, you can still run across that. That's so weird that you can just like run, you can just sprint across a 1 block gap like that. So then, do we do that? So that on this side, yeah, I think we do that. So that, and you don't immediately notice it. If I do that, you don't immediately notice that slight textured edge there, but that's now got a slab there. Yep. So that's a knee-high slab, and you hit that, and bonk. There is no way through that. No matter how fast you run or jump, you cannot get through that. Even with flying, you can't get through that. Whoops. Even flying, you can't get through that because that's now narrower than your character height. So, perfect. Alright, so that drops us down into there. And I know I missed that, but that's because I moved, I think. So, what if Mario takes damage, though? Have a quick sip of the water. Alright, and we start working out how to wrap this up now. So, we're gonna call it for a night at some point soon. We're only been going 2.5 hours, but we'll get a little bit of this next bit going. But do a bit of measuring. We'll work out what we need. Oh, there was an invisible block there in the inventory. So I'd set about 80 blocks that way. So we might do the 100 from here down to there. And we're also going to need, let me check what's the width. So that's about 10, 20, 30, 40. 40 for width is plenty. Like 20 on either side of this. Oops. Yeah, 20 on either side of this. So we would need to let's put some F3 back on. So this is 201. Take us back to 181. That'd be fine. And what's this? 205. So 225 would be plenty. And then, yeah, like 100 blocks from there would be more than enough, I think. So let's do a bit of dirt fill and kind of map this out. That glowstone's going to get replaced, but that's fine. Okay, so let's fill. So massive fill command, here we go. Fill from there through to the second layer up here. But not at that Z. Give us another 100. So minus 114. Check that out over here. Yep. About minus 114. Yep, and we fill that with dirt. Okay. There's our dirt platform. We lost the glowstone, but that's fine. We can put it back. In fact, I'm going to grab this as well, because I'm going to do that same thing, but now for grass. So if we do that same thing, but let's go minus 56 to minus 56 on that, and we change this to grass. Okay, perfect. And now I just need to replace this. Why is it so nighttime? Did it again. There we go. Okay, so we need the glowstone back. We need the water bucket back. And we need these glass panes back. Okay, and we have our end rods. Okay. So this is our template area for our third and final mega build, and we can probably get rid of that pillar now because that's sort of served its purpose. If we're here, we can't see the other build. I can actually see in the water the bit of nether tunnel roofing coming into render distance, but that's it. We can't see the place, and so that will confirm that from there we can't see here either. Let's get rid of that and that and that and that. Okay, so it's time we update our objective and mark out what we're actually going to do here. Where is it? So, in terms of primary objective, if we go back to primary objective, we had the previous primary objective. Let me put it back on. So primary objective number 1, build a scale model of Australia, 1 block to 10 kilometers. And I probably should say it's actually more like 1 block is approximately 10 kilometers because it was like super rough. That was done. Check. Mark that one off. Second primary objective was this: build a scale model of suburbia. So a city area, residential area, at a scale of 1 block to 30 meters. So we've gone from a 1 to 10,000 scale down to a 1 to 30 scale. And for our third and final primary objective, we're going to do, let me do this one and then put it up on screen. There we go. So, primary objective, we are building now, at our final level, a 1-to-1 scale replica of a house block. Not a city street block, not a strip of houses, but a single house on a single block of land. At 1-to-1 scale. So that's our third and final primary objective. So we've gone from we've ant-manned our way down from 1 to 10,000 down to 1 to 30, which is a big jump comparatively, and then down to 1-to-1. So we are now. Let me put this up here, and let me work out what we're even going to do. How we're going to divide this up. We've got grass area, and then now we've got to get a lot more creative because we're down at the literal level of stuff. So I've got tarred road with like a gravel edge. We've got actual grass. We've got pavement sort of stuff. We've got actual fencing. We've got a lot of stuff that we've got to plan out. So let me tab back over to this, and we'll kind of work out, roughly speaking, what we've got in terms of width and stuff here. So I would say there's like 10 blocks of width to the road, but it's definitely got like a gravel edge to it. So I would say 1 block of gravel on either side, and 8 blocks of tarred road in the middle, that sort of thing. So what I'd like is the road block that we've been using, whatever that was, grey concrete. That feels like the road block. Yep. So I would want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're having a road running lengthways this way. Alright. With a gravel edge of some sort. I don't know if it's going to be literally gravel, but I need a way to transition here. So it might be the concrete powder. So this is grey concrete. What about grey concrete powder? That would probably be fine, because that's going to be a close match to the grey concrete. And that's going to be my strip of road. Now, I realise it's 8 across, which is even, so there's no median line in the middle, but that's fine because this bit of road doesn't have any line markings on it. It's just literally road. It doesn't even have curb and guttering. It's just road that goes into a gravel edge that goes straight into grass. So I'm happy with that. So let's do a little bit of copy pasting and extend this along. So let's clone from there to there. And let's run this right up to the edge here. Oh, of course, it touches water. That's fine, I think. So adding 3 onto that, so 7. 90, 93, 96, 99, and then 205, 208. We should go over here and check out this side. 11, 14, 17, 20, 23. Perfect. Water hasn't made that one turn. Why is that? Oh, now that one's turned. I almost don't want to touch it because then it would turn. But I don't know of any other way to make that not happen. It's fine. I mean, it does look different. Maybe I make it turn like the others then. Let's break it and replace it. There we go. Alright. There's our street. Perfect. Okay. So I think there's no secondary objective layer to this. I think we just stay at the primary objective layer. So from here, we've got to work out how much we've got before our next sort of transition. So we've got the road. We then need to get to a fence line. So how far from there to the fence line? I would say another 10 blocks. 10 blocks of grass, then the fence line. So 1, 2, why am I counting? 99, 98, 97, so 99, so 89, so 88. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Of course. Fence posts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is our fence line here. So what we need is white wooden fence. Pale oak fence, possibly. That'll do. We want some gate. And we want to add a bit of time onto that. So we're not going to get this finished this stream, but when we come back to our next stream, which hopefully will be next week, because we've been making a little bit of a roll of getting things multiple weeks in a row, but you never know. It might not be. But if it is, we will easily get this done next week with very little time at all. And then it might just be doing a little bit of last minute sort of dress up and reveal. Okay, so whereabouts relative to things is this fence going to be? So we need to define the bounds of the actual landscape now. So in terms of where the fence line hits, yeah, we've got like about 20 blocks and then fence on either side. Oh, there's the rain. Oops. Let's just turn that off. Just because I'd like to be able to work this in the clear weather. Yeah, this front fence is going to be about 20 blocks long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I should like at least attempt to centralize this with that at least a little bit. So we would have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go 10 there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. And the gate would be there. I'll just put that there as an indicator of where that lines up. Now, that's 20 blocks of fence, right? So, let me just check that out. So that's 193 to 212, which is 20 blocks of fence. Yep. But that's internal. This then is doing that there and there, in which case that gate should actually be one across further. Alright, so that's the front there. Now on this side, and I'll just keep that going there for a little bit. On this side, there should actually be a 5 wide gap here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa, what was that? Two, three, 4, 5. So 5's including of that, because we only need 3 in here. Yep. Okay, so on these sides, these fences are going to do very different things. So they're not going to be this wooden fence. So I'll just put that like there at the moment as a guide to remind me I've got to put actual fence there. That's my boundary edge there. Alright. And we need this sort of gravel again. From there to the road, with a grass strip in the middle. probably don't need that center guide there anymore, but I'll leave it there for a sec. And some other sort of concrete now. So this was grey. How does light grey fare? Light grey probably works fine. Given that our other options would be powder, and I don't really want the texture, or white. White might actually be preferable. I think I do want white. Okay. So now the question is, how far does this go? So from the fence line, I would say we're looking at so that's 10, 20, I'd say 22. Let's say we need this to go, let's say 22 blocks in. So 22 blocks after this fence. So this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we've got to get that length there. And what is this? Oh, concrete. So can we get, what have we got in the way of slabs? No, it's quartz again, and this is going to look no good. Especially if it's dark. Yep, that's no good at all. Okay, so we'll just ignore that. And just imagine that there's no elevation change there. Okay, so we need, what's the fence line like on this side? We're going to need to start planning out a bit of actual fence. So our options, you know, all the wooden stuff is what's called fence. All the stone stuff is called wall, and that might visually look better. The other thing you've got is you got iron bars. That also works. Can't really use doors. It doesn't. It's not going to have the right sort of texture. But a certain type of stone wall would probably do the job. So the brick one, mossy brick, polished tough. It's in this end of the color spectrum. So let's just see what some of this looks like. You know, so we've got that. I like the weird noise that it makes. Some nicer paneling on that. Yep, too much bricks. I actually like this. I didn't expect the paneling. That works really well. Polished tough. So, what about other things that are polished? So, polished deep slate, polished tough, polished black stone. Polished deep slate's going to be too dark, I imagine. Absolutely, too dark. But I think we found a winner with the polished tough. I'll keep this mossy one in mind for a different use. But the polished tough wall, and of course it doesn't connect properly, which is always going to be a little bit awkward. You can't fit through it. You can fit through it. Okay. I don't think there's any way to solve that. That's just what that is. An unsolvable problem. Okay, and this will continue effectively the whole length. So, you know, just arbitrarily long. We probably should work out exactly how long. And we should probably put the grass back under there. So, okay, let me have a quick count of the blocks again. The full length on that so if we're doing full length, so that's 20, 40, 60, like 61 internal, 61 internal, so not counting this one, you gotta have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 34, 35, 36, 37, 39, 40, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. So 61 is our internal length there. And then we round the corner. And that might be a good place to call it, because that gives us a good, that gives us our rectangular bounds now. We've now got the front corner, the back corner of all that, and so that gives us a nice place to work out where everything else is relative to that. And if I want to change any of this to other things, can I? Like if I swap out to something in the middle here, oh, it will totally do that. Oh, beautiful. So I can do that if I want. I definitely will at some points. I will definitely make that transition at some stage. But that gives us what we need. I will at least do that there in its place. Huh. The gate will connect to that, but the fence doesn't. Oh, but it drops it down too. Oh, I'm not sure if I like that. I mean, I think it's okay. Looks a bit funny, but it works. There's no way to have that effect over here with a little gate join, because there isn't a gate here, but no, that one really does go to that. Okay, well, we might call this one here. I'll take out that block now. It's a pretty boring sort of shot like that. But that's our last project to work on. That's our final primary objective. Getting a thumbnail for this one though. What are we going to do for our thumbnail? Maybe this. I mean, we spent most of our time building another cloud and some more nether stuff. You know, I feel like, but we've already done like a tunnel shot for a thumbnail. Maybe we do just do this. What does it look like over this way? Trying to find a good angle. That one kind of shows up the that disconnect more. Let's go to this side. I'm trying to find something that fills the screen. That sort of thing. Let's get the overlay off. But something like that would be a good shot, I reckon. So somewhere in there. Doing a bit of thumbnail stuff. Somewhere in there will be the thumbnail shot. Okay. And with that, we can probably go up in the cloud so that we can drop down into here. That might be a nice place to leave it for next time. So yeah, when we fall, we actually face the other direction. We fall, we see it on our way down behind us, and we probably turn as we fall. But then if we do that, we'll probably break our legs because we'll miss our water. But as we come back through, so this might be a nice place to save it. Looking down the water hole. Right there. So, in the nice sparkly particle effect, let us call it there. Let's do a wrap. So, with that, I want to thank everyone for watching again as usual. I reckon that we've only got, the one more stream in this. Next time, we will be able to finish off our third and final primary objective there with this last little patch of building along a house block. And then Sharky's Minecraft build challenge will be complete after, well, it'll be a dozen episodes. That'll be the 12th episode next time. Hopefully next week. Not necessarily next week, no promises. We'll try and get here next week. If not, might be the week after. If not, week after that. Who knows. We will do our best to get to this as soon as possible. A Monday night coming in your near future. And that will then see, all the build complete. I think we need to have some sort of a Skeever's walkthrough of everything. Like, we need to show off the build a little bit, because Skeever's hasn't seen half the stuff we're building, and she'll appreciate a lot of what's happening here, I'm sure. Or at least I'll convince her to appreciate it. And I reckon, next week's stream, we definitely won't take the full time to get this finished. Surely. If we can get onto this quick, get this done early, then, Skeevers might get back from tennis. She can have a bit of a break, and then can have a bit of a roam around on stream here and see what this actually looks like from her perspective. So, we'll see. I'll see if I can talk her into that next time. Either next week or whenever we're able to get back here next. And then it'll be on to bigger and better things. So, thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in. That was another stream to be Overthunk by Sharky, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.